Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Decod3rs channel. Today we have a special guest. I know you know her, like Rhea from Sharky. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
so happy to be here. Lovely to meet everyone.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, I was so excited to do this stream that last week I wanted to do it, but you were in the plane.
I was literally on a plane, but I'm excited too. I got off the plane, I'm like, did I miss it? Oh no, I'm having FOMO.
Oh yeah. Now it was just me like messing up with the date. That's everything's all right. And we're here now, ready for the next 30 minutes. So yeah, guys, it's gonna be a short one. Like show some love for Rhea in the chat. Like it's gonna be like if you have any question, do not hesitate to ask away because it's gonna be like a 30 minutes of like nice conversation.
Yes, so excited.
Nice. Okay, so you are the co-founder of Sharky. Can you give us like a quick background of your experience before Sharky for like the people who don't know you, because it's gonna drive the rest of the conversation.
Yeah, sounds good. So I went to school at Caltech. It was like a very like tech-heavy school, and during that time, I had a lot of experiences where I got to meet other amazing, smart people, and then we hacked together on weekends and also like during summer, like when we were
That's cool.
supposed to be resting, we would hack like prototypes for other companies. And at the time, we didn't really understand how underpaid we were. We were just like, oh my God, $1,000, great, we'll do this
Let's
job.
go.
And then we didn't realize, okay, like actually like engineers are paid much higher than that. So my first encounter is startups, right? But I discovered how much I really loved building products. And like, not just like from the perspective, like building, like the technical side of it, which is like, you get to solve such interesting problems every time there's a use case, but then like also analyzing like what users want, what they need, like having that actual impact where, you know, I'm changing this thing in the code, and then like 2 days later we like ship it and like it's now in front of a user. Then they tell me, hey, I really, really love this new thing that you added, like really changed my life. That was such a beautiful feeling that I kind of just like been pursuing that ever since. And I think in every company that I've ever joined or founded, it's been just kind of critical to the code of the company, the genetic code of the company, not the code, but the genetic code of the company, that like we're actually making people happy with the things that we're building. And like, I think to that effect, that's something that's so important to me that like, you know, later on, like my co-founder and I actually co-founded before in Web 2, and we founded a project or a product for engineering teams. And it's like something that I like come back to, and I'm like, it was so meaningful to have the experience building like something that seems kind of mundane. Like, you know, it's for engineers to manage their workflow. Like it's kind of not sexy. It's kind of just like, we needed this for ourselves because we're like, it would be really helpful. But looking back, you know, being able to build something even in that moment that people actually fell in love with. People were like, oh, I'm so happy when I see the little icon bouncing. I'm so happy. Like when I see, you know, someone else like sending me a message like through the app, like I'm so excited about it. That's something that really gives me life. So I think when we had that experience of like taking something that fundamentally is kind of a boring subject and turning it into something that people really, really loved, and then being like, you know, we can do that in Web3 too, right? And that's like they started that entire journey where we felt like Web3 needed a lot of innovation, needed something that like really building something that people would jive with.
I mean, and you're doing that pretty well with Sharky. Like the KPI straight up, and like everyone on Solana and tomorrow on Crush Chain like knows about Sharky, use it.
Yes.
It's
Getting
massive.
ahead of ourselves, but yes. Maybe I can drop some alpha.
But like, and I completely understand that, like the fact that you go from like your blank page on on VS Code, like to build something or start coding something new, and then like then you do some commits and you push on GitHub, and then like you have customers using what you've built. It's the best feeling, and that's why I like to like I was also like software engineer before. I'm still, because I'm still building like the platform. But, like the feeling is cool. Like it's nice. It's amazing. It's going from 0 to 1 is cool.
It's also a little bit of like, I mean, okay, I'm gonna say a little bit of instant gratification as well. When I was in college, I was able to like choose like what kind of engineering I wanted to do. And in the beginning, I actually considered mechanical engineering. And then my dad literally told me, he's like, so you want to be like part of like building a bridge that like you design it, and then like maybe like 15 years from now, you like get to see the impact. And he's in software too, so I think he was really biased. But then
Mm.
I think at the time he really spoke to me as like a, someone who cares about instant gratification. It's like you get to see right away. Yeah, yeah. There's
Yeah.
a bug here, and then you get to fix it. And like, oh, that feels really
Yeah.
good.
Are you yeah, or you try to fix it and then there's another bug that popping up and okay, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's a dark side of engineering.
Why the
Yeah.
server is down now? What the fuck? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's fantastic. Yeah. And I mean, like in California and living in the valley, that's like you
Mhm.
are in the earth of like the center of like the whole like software building, and it's amazing because again, like I really think like yeah, the Silicon Valley is the Champions League of like building software, being big companies, and yeah, working in that kind of environment, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I actually really do love it here. I'm currently based in the Bay Area,
Mm,
in San Francisco, but I'm an LA girl. I grew up in
yeah.
LA, and I moved here because I really love the like sort of hustle mentality and like
Mm,
the builder sphere is really strong and like
yeah.
everyone's like always down to knowledge share, like the whole like pay it forward energy. I think that's something that is pretty unique. I mean, it's getting more distributed right now. It's getting
Yeah.
decentralized, and I really love that.
Mm,
But I think it was kind of like the home of a lot of that, and you really do see it like, everything that you see everywhere else is just like concentrated and
yeah.
it's like very bold here. And I myself might be making the move to a maybe more
Okay.
nomadic style. So,
Okay.
I mean, I will be one of the missionaries to spread this culture, right?
That's cool. But like, do you think like there's still a huge unfair advantage to be in the Silicon Valley itself to build like in Web3?
Are you
Uh,
looking for me
what,
to show? So honestly, I think that like if you're just starting out your career, it really is kind of still a hub. Like even though
yeah.
like things are more remote now, I do think that there's kind of like the hub mentality. Like you come here, like the connections here are really dense because one of the reasons that this became Silicon Valley and not like somewhere else, right, is because there is just like a lot of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
leaders that are being sort of bred up by like the universities here, like a lot of like the even like on the West Coast, it kind of congregates here, right? And
Mm,
so like I think you just get a kickstart to your network, and that is really
yeah.
powerful. But in terms of like, is it a crypto hub? I don't know about that because crypto hub is like all over now and like everywhere where people can kind of like get a very reasonable like lifestyle for like
Mm,
low cost and like they can still like do their work because everything's remote. Like I
yeah.
think that's where the rest of the like crypto hubs are, and you don't need to be in the Bay Area for that. But like every time,
Yeah.
like I mean, even my business partners like traveling in, and I help show them around and whatever, and then we
Mhm.
connect with other people in the Bay Area. It's like your density of connections per minute that you make here, right, is a little more rewarding. So like,
Yeah.
even making a trip every now and then would be helpful.
That's yeah. Okay. That's interesting. So there is hope for like other geographical situation like Europe or even Asia, right? Like even Dubai. Like I heard like Dubai is a huge center of like crypto world now. It's gonna be
Absolutely.
interesting. Yeah,
But yeah,
influencers
if
and
you
crypto.
ever end up in the Bay Area, hit me up.
Yeah.
If I'm in town, I'll show you around.
Okay. I haven't spent like 3 months in San Francisco between like when I went from New Zealand to before coming to Canada, and like it was insane. Like in 3 months, I've built like a prototype. I wanted to do like a peer-to-peer like Bitcoin app. And after 3 months, I already had like a Google Ventures meeting and stuff. Like it was insane. It was
Yeah.
insane. It
Yeah. Wow, that's really
was
cool. I kind of
yeah.
want to hear about your journey now.
I mean, like, yeah, it was like a side project that really never like took off because like my execution was not good at that time. But like after, yeah, even with not much, like, yeah, you talk to people that have another level of like execution and like mindset. And honestly, that's what we also try to do with this channel, like to spread a little bit this mindset of like the
Yeah,
yeah, Silicon
love
Valley
that.
because
That's
yeah,
why I'm
yeah,
here.
exactly. And yeah,
Help.
like hmm?
Let me help.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, if you want to, if you are up for the mission, you can come back whenever you want on the channel, and we can have
Hey.
even more show after. That would be cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll make a whole series out of it.
Yes. See the Web3 Valley or something. Okay, let's go. And like Yeah. Do you see like Silicon Valley team like winning again in Web3 like they did in Web2? Like because again, like you have like is all based in the area, right? In the Bay Area.
Yeah, so the
Yeah.
founding team, myself, my co-founder, we met like a few years ago. We then co-founded another company,
Yeah.
and then like now we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, we're based in the Bay Area, but now like he's
Yeah.
nomadic, and I'm trying to be
Yeah.
nomadic, trying to get rid of this place. So yeah, it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think that the advantage here that like anyone who's sort of like proven themselves and like proven that they can build and like execute in Web
Mm.
2, a significant advantage is that you know what it takes to build a product at scale, right? Like,
Yeah.
and that's something that, I mean, even today, right? Like running Sharky, it's like, like the sheer volume that we get, right? It's like, it's a lot of times like, we say it's a nice problem to have, but we're literally having all the nice problems to have at the same time. And you as an engineer, you understand how that is.
Yeah.
It's like, sometimes you're like, oh, are you like not shipping new features? Like, bro, I'm trying to keep the ship running. Like, you guys are like
Yeah.
giving us a lot of loans. I mean, hey,
Yeah.
thanks. Like, also, my God, what the, we're like so degen up in here. So that's like definitely something that's like kind of a challenge. But like,
Mm.
but like from the other side of it's like just like taking with us all of that knowledge of like building like features at scale, like how to
Mm.
build infrastructure, right? It's like you don't see like how hard that is until you like hit that. And then the other perspective there too is like again building a product that like actually is built for users, built for the masses, right?
Mm.
Like one critique I've always had of DeFi products, even before I joined the space, I was just like, I get that it's like kind of esoteric and like it's so cool that like you can build this DeFi protocol that like nobody
Yeah.
understands and like that's like the value you bring to the ecosystem. But like core thesis at Sharky is like users don't like to feel dumb. Like you empower them and show them something that's like it's fundamentally not supposed to be hard. It's as
Mm.
simple. You can do it. Anyone can do it. My mom can do it. Yeah, my mom uses Sharky. So like
That's cool.
that's what I want to get to. Like I want to get
Yeah.
to the point where like Web 2 people, Web 1 people, like your
Mm.
boomers, like give us anybody and they can use Sharky. They can
Yeah.
onboard crypto. And we've had that. We've had people like I've talked to them. I'm like, oh, so how did you get into crypto? They're like, oh yeah, you started using Sharky. And like those
That's
are
cool.
like my proudest moments. Just
Yeah.
like that's really cool. And that comes from, actually just not being like starting only on Web3. Like
Mm.
just having that perspective, like where we came from and like what people today are using, because not everyone is going to
Mm.
be in your crypto sphere, because that's the point, right?
They,
Like we're
yeah.
not trying to be like, hey, have you heard about crypto? And like you and me talking about it is really not going to prove anything to
Yeah.
anybody. The whole point is
Yeah.
to bring more people here.
No, 100%. And like, we, I lost my question.
Oh, whoops.
Sorry.
Went too hard.
But oh yeah, and like, what does it take to build? Okay, no, yeah. Back to the Okay, I got it. The user experience and the UI on Web3 is like it's shit. It's dog shit. Like
I can
it,
talk months about this.
it's
You want to get
like
into some hot takes?
yes, please, yeah. Let's make some views. Because like the barrier to entry of the user experience, like it's so low right now that it's not easy, but it's easy to like ship a good product that everyone gonna use tomorrow. Because you go from Facebook, Instagram UI to fucking like I don't know, like even Blur or even Tensor, like
Ooh,
it's really focused on. You get the idea, right? Like it's hard
ooh,
to use
yes.
those products,
Getting
right?
spicy.
We need those tools.
I was like, maybe
But
I shouldn't name any names, but you
I
got
mean,
me.
I did. It's not you, it's me, you know. But like, like there is a gap between like, okay, you need almost not a PhD, but like a master degree in finance to use those pro tools, which is also not the same audience that Sharky neither, right? Like you try to appeal to everyone, and like everyone that's not in crypto even, or like start to go into NFT-fi, etc. And those kind of other products that will remain nameless.
Yeah. You won't
They
believe
were
me.
pro traders. So yeah, it's completely different approach. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. I think that like one thing that we really focus on is like the trailblazing aspect of this.
Mm,
Like it's the NFT like financialization space is so big. Like and
yeah.
we don't even see ourselves as like, oh, NFT fi to begin with. We're
Yeah.
actually just all lending. We actually want our goal is to help everyone like ever be able to feel comfortable with like you own your finances, you own your assets, you
Yeah.
understand like what you can do. You're not locked into something just because you invested into like some sort of asset that's not liquid, right? We want to fundamentally be able to help that. That's our mission in the world. And then I see that as like, okay, if you want something like once you learn about it, because like our mission is also the education aspect of it, right? Like we have to teach you how to do it and we
Mm.
have to make you feel like empowered. Like you're like, I'm like a rock star when I'm using Sharky. And then like if you're like, okay, well, I want something a little more custom. I want something that like, Sharky doesn't yet offer. Then like you go to all these, there's like a whole ocean of like other products out there that you can use.
Yeah.
But then the main idea is to make it so simple that like the everyday person, not the person who spends 24/7 on crypto, because there
Yeah.
are people like that, but then people who are like, I don't have that, like, me, a founder, right? Like I don't have all the time in the world to like just figure out all these things, but then I still want to get in the space. I still want to learn what's going on. I still want to make some money. So then I
Mm.
use Sharky. And it's like
Mm.
built for the everyday person like that. And then I also think that that's like part of what's so critical about being able to incentivize, right? Like again, it's about the building for the masses. So you're not just like doing something so like particularly like crypto. And to your point, when you said like all the UX here, I mean, let's take a moment and give gratitude for the fact that we're actually on. I think I've seen a number of chains, we won't
Yes.
name any names, that like have even worse user experience, right? Like if
Mm.
you like wait a long time for like, okay, did my transaction go through? Did it go through? Did it go through?
Oh,
Oh no, I just actually lost some money and I didn't know about that.
it's been 4 weeks on Bitcoin for my ordinal transaction. Still waiting.
Yeah, so I'm just saying like, I am grateful that like we have like access to the tech. Like, obviously I love tech, so it's like
Yeah.
the tech enables us to do so much more. And then like from that perspective too, a lot of times when someone says, "Oh, your app looks like it's been built for Web3," that's not a compliment, right? So I really want to change that narrative first of all. I think
Yeah.
the like, a trailblazer there as well, just like making products and like just services that doesn't feel like it's built for
Mm.
Web3. I think that's like really, really important.
Yeah.
We all should
Yeah.
be part of that.
100%. Yeah, like the angle is like almost to do like a Web3 stuff without even like talking about Web3, and it's just like another product that everyone can use, pay with
Mhm.
a credit card, get loan on Sharky, and then that's it. That would be cool.
Yeah, I am. So also, I think I noticed a question in the chat about like what was the motivation for Sharky acquiring UGS. I can take that right now. Um,
Where is it?
and yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
yeah, it's in the chat. So it's very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like trying to like partially read it too as well. But now you're so engaging. Yeah, so the motivation there is so we've always like had on our roadmap to like get into mortgages, and we actually developed like the existing Sharky tech is built to be composable from day one.
Mm.
And like actually right now you see that Sharky has been integrated on Hyperspace. So you can go buy now, pay later for your NFTs. So I actually think it's like really, really cool that Hyperspace pretty much with like only like a few interactions in Slack, like we like helped with like, here's the API, here's
Mm.
like, documentation, like go have fun with it. And they were just like, here's buy now, pay later now in Hyperspace. And I'm just like, that's so cool, right? That's so cool that we're so composable. And I love that that's something that we can offer. So like, in a sense, like, UGS was like one of the ways that we wanted to get into like the mortgages space and start being able to provide the buy now, pay later. So like, before it was like the
Mm.
assets you have, you can take a loan against them. With buy now, pay later, you can assets you don't have, take a loan against them, right? And it's a really, really cool, like our mission again is to financialize everything. So like
Yeah.
making it very liquid, making things easier, helping the average user that like in Web 2 doesn't even take a loan, but in Web 3 they do. How cool is that?
Yeah, because you don't need like papers that no one reads and like a regulation that protect whatever you want to protect. But
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
thank you, Jordan, for your donation of $25. Thank you so much, man. I will give you a role on Discord. That's going to be useful for the upcoming mint. Your message is like, keep doing big things, bro. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Shout out to Ria from Sharky. I love Sharky. It's amazing. So happy it exists. See? That's, yeah.
I love you too.
That was worth like $25 message. Thank you so much, Jordan.
It's so cute. And then I see another question: are we going to have Sharky merch? Absolutely. And The only thing that's been kind of a blocker there is like, can we get merch that's the level of quality that we want for the Sharky brand? So we want like something like really, really cool that everyone can represent. I think in our NFT NYC, we gave away like backpacks that were like collaboration with Solana. So they provided the backpacks and then we like provided the Sharky. Yeah, really
I
cool.
forgot to wear it. I have the yellow t-shirt just here.
Oh, you have one.
I fucked up. I forgot to wear it on your GS stream, and I forgot to use it. It's here since last week. Okay, okay. Let me grab it.
If you wear it on the next episode, I'll forgive you.
So okay, next episode then.
Next episode.
When do we do that? Next week?
Yeah.
But yeah, we need merch because we need to rep the brand. Yeah.
Absolutely, more merch. I mean, hey, if you guys have ideas, hey, drop me. You can actually message me on Twitter. I read all of my DMs. So.
Oh, okay. I will send you like NFC arrival from Jay. He did like the merch for Decod3rs for the drop that we're going to do pre-mint, and he did like the Decod3rs. So the merch is really, really good. I will send you his contact. It's gonna be cool.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's already 26. Time is running. No way.
No.
Oh, okay.
We can push it a little bit.
Nah, that's okay. Like I know, I can imagine how busy you are. So yeah, I don't want to.
The reason I was late was because we were fighting fires.
So a last question for you that can probably last 4 minutes, but what does it take to build a product like Sharky in terms of like engineering and what I let it open. What does it take to build a product like Sharky?
So this is your 4-minute question. Okay. I'm gonna rise to the challenge in a sec. So what does it take? I think so there's layers of this. I think fundamentally it's like a deep understanding of like what the users need. Like I think sometimes people are like, I would use this, I want to build that, and then they build something that like, a small group of people might need, like people who are exactly like them. And then there's also like people who like, I think this would be really cool if this existed, so I build this thing, and then like nobody has that problem, so they're not like gonna use it. So a lot of times it's like, in startup like culture, you try to build to solve a problem, not build a solution and then look for a problem to solve. I think that's a lot of like first-time founder mistakes. So like I think in general, we're very aware of like what it takes and what the I think so we're aware of the costs of building something as big as Sharky, and like also like our ambitions do not stop there, right? So like there's like all of the future of Sharky as well, but then also the other side is like understanding fundamentally like why Sharky is needed in the ecosystem, what kind of like support we provide, and what kind of like frontiers we're pushing here, the trailblazing of like bringing more people to Web3 and helping people understand like the power of Web3, like something like Sharky exists in the Web3 world on blockchain, that like it can't exist elsewhere because there's just not enough sort of like decentralization. There's not enough of the like people like being able to understand things and having like the faster transactions. All of that is like something that we're being able to do a lot more by driving adoption, driving education, driving the like, even like fun tokenomics, like, how fun is it to like make money and then also make more money, like, and then also have fun doing that, right? Like building that whole experience. So I think in a lot of ways, our team has just been like the best at each thing that we do. And then it's more a matter of like, are we blocked on resources? Are we just like fighting another sort of like black swan in crypto? Like there's all those other sort of environmental things. And if you've observed like what's been going on in crypto in the past year, if you haven't been living under a rock, you understand literally how much like we've moved, like how many mountains we've moved as Sharky to be where we are today, and like to have like as big of like a presence and like be as big of a brand as we are today. So like I think all of that is like all the pieces need to have lined up, and then we're very, very selective about like who gets to join the Sharky team. So like even like acquisitions, it's like we have to be like, okay, we acquire the team, the people, and like that's what's like really important to us. And there might be like more exciting news there down the line, so stay tuned.
Okay. That's cool. Let's go. Teasing. Okay. That's good.
Do another episode about this.
Whenever you want. I love it. It's so cool. I could talk about like, Second?
You're so fun to talk to.
Yeah, like the Silicon Valley like mindset and how to build a Web2/Web3 company. It's my favorite topic. Yeah, it's so nice. We need that. Well,
Oh, we got like more questions too.
yes, yes. So I have one like from David that I really like. Like, does Sharky have to follow the financial rules similar to lending institutions?
Yes and no. So like the closest probably framework would be like Lending Club.
Yeah.
Because if you were
Yes.
like doing something where it's like a peer to pool model where we're the ones giving out loans, and there's a lot more rules about that. But really we're kind of like a broker where basically we have like the protocol that helps connect people for
Mm.
contracts. And so like it's a little bit looser for that. And then the in terms of like what kind of rules, it would be like similar to like another company Web2, right? Like Lending Club that like is doing
Yeah.
something similar. Yeah.
That's cool. And like when you will like start to go into deep into the institutional levels because you will have institutional money to lend from and to, that's gonna be nice. That's gonna be a good news.
Yeah, I think that's like what's exciting about the bull market coming back, right?
Yeah.
And even now, because we see a lot of people who like have a lot of money and like they don't know what to do with it. It's like it doesn't matter if you have like $1, if you have like $1 million, you can use Sharky today.
Mm.
And that's like what people are finding out on their own. Like I'm like, I'm actually surprised a lot of times I go into a new community and then they're like, oh yeah, here's like all the Sharky users. And I'm like, oh
Mhm.
hello. I didn't know that we had a group of users like in Hong Kong, for example. Like I found that out recently.
Mm.
And then, like they treated me to dinner and I'm like, cool. Like this is Sharky dinner and I'm invited. So that's been like really cool. But like, yeah, that's something that I think is like really important. That I think there's just the fact that people can just like learn how to use this by themselves. And
Mm.
then like when the bull run comes back, then you have all these institutions being like, where do we put our money? Like, how do we like figure this out? And then like, if you have something that's like easy enough for like, the average person, you're going to have something that's like ready for
Yeah.
the like mass adoption, right? And like the bigger powerhouses of like financial institutions. And we have API too. So like
Mm.
you can do things programmatically and that's really cool too.
Okay, so you're preparing like to manage institutionals money for the next bull market. That's what you're cooking right now.
That is that's in the works.
Ooh, that's cool.
We already
That's
have like LPs are very interested in something like that, but
yes.
we will enable that when the time is right. I think a lot of like, as another layer to what we talked about earlier, it's about
Yeah.
finding the right timing for everything too.
I mean, yeah, at the peak or bottom of the bear market, maybe it's not the right time to launch some institutional money products. That's for sure.
And Ryan added a really good point. You get all like you iron out the bugs and you build and you
Yeah.
build and you build and you build during the bear market. And
Mm.
that's what we're doing. We're joining forces with a lot of really smart people. Excited to announce like when that time comes.
Okay. This week, next week, this summer.
Locking me in already. I mean, it's a good point because otherwise my calendar gets booked. I know how long we've been waiting for like this to happen to like try to
Yeah, I
scheduling
was
done.
I was ready last week, so yeah.
You were
It's okay.
early.
That's okay. Yeah, I was already like we're just getting started for sure.
You
Uh,
see another question of hardest part of building on Solana.
mm.
Do we have time for that question?
I mean, it's up to you. Like we're already over your time, so it's up
Yeah,
to
okay.
you.
I appreciate it.
Next week, then? Okay, let's go.
I can do like a really quick thing on that. That's definitely not like a 2-minute
Yeah.
question. But I think what's hard about I'll go like what's hard about crypto in general is because it's a
Mm.
volatile market, right? Like and
Mm.
anytime like as a founder, you're like in this state, you're kind of like always stressed and you don't talk to any founder, you're like, hey, how are you doing? And they're like, I'm doing great. Like
Yeah.
that's just not that's just not what happens. But then like what's hard about building on Solana on top of that is like the tech is not one that like, you can go out and just be like, let me recruit some like Solana engineers. Most of the
Mm.
time people have to learn. Most of the time people have to like get over sort of like some like cliff in like understanding to be able to start contributing to the code base. So that's
Yeah.
part that is like a little bit more difficult.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, like when your assets or the network you're relying on go lose like 90% of the value, that could be tricky to build on top of that, for sure.
Just a
But
little bit.
yeah. But yeah, thank you, Ria, so much for your time. Like, I don't want to still like to keep you away from your team.
Thank you so much. It's very
Yeah,
considerate too. It's
thank
so
you so much.
fun. I'm
Yeah,
gonna come back soon.
see, and I will DM you about like the Web3 Valley podcast format that we can do together. That would be
Yeah,
fun.
that would be so fun.
Okay, thank you so much, Ria, and yeah, like we will see you soon on the channel.
All right, see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.
And yes, like, thank you so much, everyone in the chat.
You guys are really fun.
Yeah, we're not live. I'm ending the stream right now. No, but like, yeah, every Sharks holder, do not hesitate like to subscribe to the channel, join our Discord also, because we have whitelist for you for the upcoming Decoders mint. It's a free mint. You will need to watch the show, but and get some views. But other than that, join the party. Again, thank you so much, Ria, and yeah, like, nice product, amazing mindset. Like, your team is like, everyone is like golden. Like, on the Telegram, it's amazing. Like, I love everyone on our group. So you have a nice team. Thank you so much, and everyone, we will see you in the next stream. Bye bye.
Bye.